All right. I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit here. Mr. Wilson, if you want to come up right away. You've indicated that you support, oppose, and are neutral on the bill. I can give you I give you 5 minutes to kind of explain how that works.
My name is Glenn
Is your
Wilson.
red button on there?
Try this again. Thank you. Appreciate the time here to address some of these issues with you here today. I represent a small CLEC here in Michigan named Michigan Access. We have invested literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in rural areas here in northern Michigan. We provide services to our schools, libraries, police departments, fire departments. We have built so much infrastructure into our community and served so many essential services in the county that the county has classified us as an essential service to that county. And that is pretty much an unprecedented thing for a small internet company to be named such an essential service level. And the reason I bring this up is because it only goes to show what kind of commitment we have had in our community. We rely on the Michigan Telecommunications Act to do business. We have to negotiate with AT&T, Verizon, and now Frontier, and it is an ongoing battle. Without the Public Service Commission's aid in being a middleman between the small CLECs and the big incumbent carriers, we wouldn't have a chance to compete in this state. Literally millions of dollars of investment from the small companies would dry up. The Telecommunications Act of Michigan is so important to our way of doing business, it's not even funny. We have several small independent internet providers spread throughout the state. They're very concerned about adding IP controls inside of the Telecommunications Act. So please, if you're thinking about controlling bandwidth, it will crush many, many small companies. One of the biggest reasons I come here today was I'm asking for your help. We're opening up the Michigan Telecommunications Act, and there's one thing that is sorely missing in that act, and I need some sort of address in it. Right now, Michigan has no control over who is the incumbent telephone carrier in this state. We have been trying for years now to bring telephone services to unserved areas in northern Michigan. We have invested over $500,000, installed brand new underground lines. We have resolutions from all 3 townships that make up this area, both county 911s, Homeland Security in both counties, and even more so, the residents that actually live in this area have signed petitions asking for a basic telephone service. Now, I have even gone to the point of saying, I'll install free 911 services. I'll put a special line into the 911 center in Ogama County just so these senior citizens could have access to 911. One gentleman's had 3 heart attacks, and he cannot have access to 911. Another couple have served our country in the military during the Vietnam War, and he has cancer, and he has no way of communicating with his doctor. They live way out where cell phones don't reach, and they need your help. I'm here today on behalf of them for you to add something to the Michigan Telecommunications Act. Over a year ago, I got an email back from Robin Ancona from the Public Service Commission, and reason number 1 says that underneath the Michigan Telecommunications Act, the Michigan Public Service Commission has no authority to name an incumbent carrier for a local service here in the state of Michigan. Now, we're talking about a phone call that goes from a local place in Michigan, stays right in the county, and goes to a 911 center in that county. At no point would this phone call ever leave the state of Michigan, and the Public Service Commission has no say over it. If you guys are going to open up and redo the Michigan Telecommunications Act, I ask you, please, take the state's rights to control who has phone service in our state. It has been years, and the FCC absolutely does not care about these people. It's within your power to add this to the Michigan Public Service Commission Act of telephones. It's within your power to do this. We're one of the very few states that have no say in it at all. When I talk to the FCC, they say Michigan needs to select a carrier. Well, Michigan cannot select a carrier. And so I ask you, please, please, add it in there so that the Michigan Public Service Commission can name an incumbent carrier for a territory that's set solely in the state of Michigan. It's our rights as a state to be able to allow our citizens to have a phone. I thank you very, very much for your time, and I'd open it up for any questions, please.
Representative McBroom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Could you elaborate a little bit more on what would be the benefit of being able to name the incumbent carrier? What does that? What will that produce? How will that help these people to have an incumbent carrier be able to be declared by the Public Service Commission?
Well, one thing right off the bat that would help is it wouldn't take years for the Public Service Commission to get these people a 911 service. Right off the bat, the FCC flat outright does not care about these people in northern Michigan. Michigan Public Service Commission cares greatly. They have jumped through every hoop possible. They have given me every license within their power to offer these people service. And so if we give them the control of naming the incumbents, it would get done. And it would be within the state's control and within your control of what goes on in our state.
Yes.
Thank you. I hear what you're saying. I guess I'm trying to understand how are we held. If we can't declare an incumbent right now, how does that stop what you're trying to do? How does that stop providing 911 service to these individuals? I'm just not clear on the process and on the necessity of the declaration of an incumbent.
All right. It's a complicated but simple issue. Every place in Michigan has an exchange. It usually can be recognized by the area code and prefix. For example, Rose City has 989-685. Well, what happens when somebody lives outside of that geographical exchange? If you look in the packet I give you, there's a map in there, and you will see the boundary lines for the exchange areas. So if somebody doesn't live in an exchange, you cannot give them a number. There is no number to give them. So there's no way to punch them into the phone system so that they can route 911. So somebody has to name, or be able to set up the exchange and name that incumbent, and giving it the power to the Public Service Commission to do that would really help the people here in Michigan. Does that answer your question? It's about the exchange. You just can't give a number, and that's really what it comes down to. We're waiting on a number. The phones are all installed, ready to go, waiting on a number.
Thank you. Seeing no further questions, thank you so much, Glenn, for your testimony.
Thank you all very, very much, and I appreciate it. God bless.